Let's get it on. Forget the loss, the money. We're in this together and do it all. They said that nothing's forever, and they refuse to see the change in me. Why won't they wake up?
What up? It's your boy T-Burn Reaction Days Wrestling Wednesday. Now you're about to look at look at 10 stars that that Vince Man thought was gonna suck, came out to be mega stars, but now we want to take our time that they had a star right there, but did not go anywhere because Vince was so tone deaf, so oblivious, it wasn't even funny. So we're gonna take a look at 10 times WWE turned treasures into trash, man. So without further ado, let's check this out. It's also from WrestleMania. Let's get it.
Throughout WWE's extensive history, the company has been known to drop the ball on certain wrestlers and storylines. These stories were literally gold mines for WWE, but due to stubbornness as well as lazy writing, they missed a huge opportunity to create compelling TV and in turn reap the financial rewards. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 times WWE turned treasure into trash. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, WrestleMania Shorts. Number 10. Taz in WWE. Former ECW star Taz made his official WWE debut at the 2000 Royal Rumble in
They really fumbled this one, man. My goodness. How they fumbled this one, I have no idea.
front of a sold-out Madison Square Garden. Taz would choke out Kurt Angle in his debut match, and in the process, he looked like an absolute megastar who could have instantly been propelled into the main event scene. Unfortunately, they rather quickly pulled the rug from under him, and he would drop heavily down the card, so much so that at WrestleMania 16 he would be in a battle royal for the hardcore title. Taz could have easily been in the hunt for WWE's top prize, or at the very least be competing for the Intercontinental title with the likes of Angle, Chris Jericho, and Chris Benoit. According to legendary commentator Jim Ross on his podcast, WWE, well, specifically Vince McMahon, stopped pushing Taz after several complaints that he was dangerous. Number 9. Sting arrives in WWE.
Till this day, how they fuck this right here had me convinced that Vince had out for WCW because he wanted to make anybody that came for just about almost anybody that came for WCW after the invasion look bad, and this was definitely one of them right here, man. This was the tip of the iceberg right here. That's why certain folks, like this one lady, one girl I used to follow on my wrestling cool, she's friends with me, Crystal, just say that Sting and W don't exist. That's because of this shit right here.
At long last, Survivor Series in 2014 saw the WWE debut of Sting. This was a magical moment, and it seemed like it would never happen. And now that WWE had one of the biggest wrestlers of all time on their roster, fans instantly pushed online to see Sting collide with The Undertaker. This had been a dream match for several decades, but instead they decided to book Sting versus Triple H for WrestleMania 31.
He lost. They made him lose.
What was particularly frustrating about this was that Sting and the Deadman were both on the WrestleMania card, and both were healthy, so there was no reason why they couldn't have delivered the match. The match was a true moneymaker, and there were still opportunities for WWE to deliver the match in the second half of 2015, but they outright refused, and the match will now unfortunately never take place. Number 8. Kurt Angle's retirement.
Oh my god, yeah. Why the fuck they decided to get Barry Corbin out of all people would do that? The best person who did it was Chad Gable, somebody, or even AJ. I'm not sure AJ was one of them, or somebody around the line. Man, why would you get Barry Corbin? That was such a disappointment.
35 was set to be an emotional event, as one of the greatest of all time, Kurt Angle, was retiring from WWE. When this was initially announced, there was rampant speculation on who exactly Angle would face. There were rumors ranging from Taker to John Cena, with Cena being the
Exactly.
overwhelming favorite amongst fans.
Solid.
However, when Angle announced that he'd be retiring against Baron Corbin, fans were really disappointed. Fans had zero interest in the match, and a strong portion of the WWE fan
Nobody
base
cared
were
about
actually
Baron Corbin,
convinced
especially
that they were
Constable
actually
Corbin.
set to pull a swerve. Sadly, there was no swerve, and Corbin would go on to defeat Angle in a total bore of a retirement match. Angle has since spoken at length about how disappointed he was with the match, and during an interview with the A to the K wrestling show, Angle stated that he was even pushing to face Cena in his final match.
Vince decided to
I mean,
put Baron
alright.
Corbin in Jason's position.
Angle
I
pretty much
didn't
made
know I was going to retire at WrestleMania,
Kurt Angle.
but I felt like I was losing a step. I wasn't able to be the Kurt Angle that I expected myself to be. So I decided I was going to retire at that WrestleMania against Baron. But I called Vince and I said, listen, no disrespect to Baron. I love the kid. I think he's talented as heck. But I really love to wrestle John Cena.
Right.
He said, you know what? No, because you're doing a program with Baron Corbin. You have to finish this program.
Number 7, Jericho. When the WWE implemented a brand new brand split in the summer 2016, Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens quickly formed a close bond over Raw. This bond developed into one of the most exciting partnerships of the past decade, and they became the highlight of Raw each week. The two had natural chemistry as a duo, and it only seemed fitting that when they eventually disbanded, that they would have a featured match at WrestleMania in what in all likelihood should have been a main event matchup. Instead, they decided to have Goldberg win the Universal title on the road to WrestleMania, and Jericho and Owens will be now for the US title at WrestleMania 33.
Well, I'm not. Of course, you know I'm not as mad because at the time KO was a heel and Goldberg was a babyface, so I wasn't as mad as well. I mean, because I was like going to babyface as well too, so it wasn't that mad about it. But still, that was. But okay, but if alignment wasn't involved, I'll be definitely pissed about it. But anyway, that's another story.
The second match on the show. This was incredibly disappointing, mainly because their character arcs revolved around the Universal title, so now they were wrestling for a prize that had little to do with their storyline. WWE dropped the ball with a major money match, and everyone knew it, including Jericho, who was so infuriated by WWE's handling of the storyline that it influenced his decision to join AEW. Number 6, Hulk Hogan in 2002.
Yeah,
it was great to see
it
Hulk
was
Hogan
cool,
back in 2002,
it was cool,
presented
just-
like the legend he was, and it was clear, judging by the crowd response, that everyone was ready to see Hogan wrestle in the WWE ring again. WWE would book Hogan to take on The Rock at WrestleMania 18, and whilst the match was excellent, there was a considerable amount of money to be made by booking Hogan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in a dream match. There were several reasons why this didn't happen, but WWE had numerous opportunities to deliver the match after WrestleMania 18, but it never materialized. Hogan's 2002 stint could have been something special, but Hogan was overexposed extremely quickly and the character became stale. Hogan won the WWE title at Backlash, which was a controversial move as he defeated fellow babyface Triple H for the gold, and this led to some fans believing that they were going backwards instead of forwards. Hogan would then lose several times, including losing the WWE title to The Undertaker in a total dud of a match, and he even put over Brock Lesnar. Hogan should have been kept as an attraction, but instead they ran him into the ground, and it definitely hindered his once illustrious drawing power. Number 5, Triple H vs Randy Orton in 2009.
Yeah,
The
that
WWE
was.
been no-
Go back. Hold on a second. I gotta close the door. There's a lot going on, but that was. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, that one. Yeah, man. Triple H for Randy Orton. I'm surprised the way that whole feud with it, and then the match was just lukewarm compared to how everything was built up for it, man. I think that was the one like the top best build but shitty match was. Yeah.
To create a red-hot storyline and then failed to deliver a satisfying conclusion. This was most definitely the case with the 2009 feud between Triple H and Randy Orton. The feud began with Orton taking out the McMahon family, and when Orton set his eyes on Stephanie McMahon, this led to Triple H interjecting himself in the feud. This was a great blend of WWE storytelling combined with the real-life relationship, as on-screen Triple H and Stephanie had been divorced for 7 years, but WWE decided to flat-out ignore this element of continuity. The storyline was what every wrestling fan was talking about, and even fans from the Attitude Era were once again tuning in into the WWE product.
The Home Invasion,
Heading into WrestleMania 25, fans expected an absolute war between the two bitter rivals. Instead, they delivered a lackluster main event, which was the quality of a Raw and SmackDown match. It was a total letdown, and WWE had missed a huge chance to deliver something memorable and a golden chance to keep those classic fans watching the product. Triple H and Orton like to blame Taker and Shawn Michaels for stealing the show, but this does little to justify why they dropped the ball so badly. The feud would carry on after WrestleMania 25, but the magic was gone. Those fans who switched back into the product had left in droves, and the regular WWE viewers were left disgruntled and frustrated. Number 4, Rusev Day.
Oh my god! And the thing about it, he was ended up being a babyface with Rusev Day, and they fucked that up. They found a way to fuck that up.
2017, Rusev Day took the wrestling world by storm. Rusev Day was a pairing consisting of Rusev and Aiden English, and it was the most entertaining thing on SmackDown. The gimmick was simple in nature, as Rusev and English would claim that every day was Rusev Day. The fans adored it. They would chant it throughout the show, and the Rusev Day t-shirt would become one of the top-selling t-shirts in the entire company. WWE had money staring them in the face, but they outright refused to acknowledge the success of the duo, and there were even rumors of them manipulating crowd noise to edit out the chants.
Wow.
According to Road Dogg on his podcast, one of the reasons why Vince McMahon had no interest in capitalizing on the immense popularity of Rusev Day was because he wasn't a fan of English's look. Number 3, The Hurt Business.
Now, y'all know how I feel about the Hurt Business, though. That is why it's because they were here, but it was like almost quit because of, and not because of them, because of folks doing folks in different groups who were like trying to villainize for not root for them, because I don't root for heels, but they was like trying to make me a heel for not doing it. So almost wanted to quit wrestling, being a wrestling fan after that.
Man has made some creative blunders over the years, and one of these was without a doubt breaking up the Hurt Business. The Hurt Business was a stable consisting of Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander, and the stable felt fresh and brought something new to the landscape of Raw. The four bonded as well, as they were real-life friends, and it also gave Benjamin and Alexander something substantial to do. The stable should have dominated WWE, and there was so much money to be made by presenting this group of talented stars as the biggest thing in the company. But it was McMahon who made the call to break up the stable, as he reportedly had no interest in pushing Benjamin and Alexander. They attempted to reform the group several times, but each time it's fallen flat. They captured lightning in a bottle with their inaugural run, and if McMahon didn't make such a terrible creative choice, then the stable could have been a group that could have carried WWE.
That's one thing. Only thing I did not like about that, they was doing that backstage bullying. That's the main thing. Like they had them doing backstage bullying. Now here's my thought with it. This is what in my opinion is also that I feel that they wanted to keep. They knew the fans were starting to like them, and instead of pushing them to be either tweener or babyface, in my opinion, they should have been tweeners when they had that feud against Retribution. They didn't capitalize on all that. They want to keep them heel, and that was the downstar as well too. And I guess the town crowd wasn't coming back yet, so they had no choice but to break them up to keep Lashley and MVP heel. So. They would have wanted a twin because folks were starting to like him more. If you go to any black wrestling group, they think that the best thing that happened in wrestling right now too. The way folks was talk, the way folks was talking about the dislike of the breakup or anything. Even fellow wrestler, you would thought they was baby faces, but they really weren't. So they could have been a good baby face team, but. You saw what, but Vince fucked it up. They fucked up the chance for the face fans to, like myself, to fully enjoy it, instead of having to play safe or walk with eggshell to avoid dickheads in the groups as well too. You know how I deal with wrestling groups or fans across. You know what I'm saying, as well too. But that's another story. Anyway, let's keep going.
Into the future. Number 2, Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. When Lynch won the 2019 Women's Rumble, it seemed like a certainty that she would challenge Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania 35. There was a ton of hype for the match, and when it was made official, fans were elated. Unfortunately, they had to ruin one of the most anticipated matches in recent memory by needlessly adding Charlotte Flair into the mix. The segment, which saw WWE add Flair into their WrestleMania match, is one of the WWE's most detested YouTube videos ever, with over 80,000 dislikes. WWE had completely butchered a money match for the women's division, and to make things worse, they would overcomplicate the match itself. Instead of a standard triple threat for the Raw Women's title, they would have Asuka drop the SmackDown Women's title to Flair, so the match became a winner-takes-all matchup. Lynch versus
Did
Rousey was
Oscar
a big
dirty.
time match that warranted a main event slot. However, the addition of Flair killed virtually all the hype for the match. They ruined what could have been potentially been the most financially successful women's match in company history. And number 1, The Invasion.
Oh yes.
It's well documented just
Oh
how
yes, we already know
badly
this story.
WWE
I did a
botched
whole
the
reaction to
Invasion
this.
storyline. When they acquired WCW in 2001, it only seemed fitting that they would present
It looked
a
good on paper. It just Vince's ego fucked that up completely, man. Vince ego completely fucked that up. No, let me say that back. Vince Eagles and Tom Warner completely, both of them fucked up that whole invasion, man. That's all I say about that.
WWE versus WCW storyline, but due to contract issues, they only had a limited number of top WCW talents to work with. These talents included the likes of Booker T and DDP, but to deliver a full-on Invasion storyline, more top stars were going to be needed. This led to them booking the Invasion storyline as an overcomplicated mess, as a strong portion of the WCW side of the story ended up consisting of talent who were WWE wrestlers. Whilst the actual Invasion pay-per-view was a huge financial success, if they had waited until the summer of 2002, they could have had an actual full-blown WWE vs WCW war. By the summer of 2002, they had the likes of Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and even Rey Mysterio under contract. They also had the likes of Triple H and Shawn Michaels back in the ring, so it could have been a huge monetary gain for WWE. WWE just
That's number
waited it out
3.
and instead
And that's the third part of injury as well, too. Triple H's injury.
delivered a lazily executed Invasion story that was full of nonsensical and tiresome booking. But there you have it, folks.
Yeah, that was all Vince ego, Tom Warner's contract, and injuries. Kind of fucked it up, man. Unfortunate injury, like Triple H fucked that up, man, big time. Anyway, other than that, this was a cool list. So if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love.